Into Shobi, and today we're going to look at Module 5, Lesson 20. The objective for Module 5, Lesson 20 is to classify two-dimensional figures in a hierarchy based on their properties. So we're going to be looking at figures and breaking them down and classifying them based on their properties. So those are the things that we've learned, the properties. Those are all the things we defined when we were drawing our quadrilaterals in the lessons before this one. So down here, we're just going to be looking at some true or false statements today. And if it's false, we're going to make it true. So the first one says, all trapezoids are quadrilaterals. And that is, in fact, true because all trapezoids have four sides. B says, all parallelograms are rhombuses. And that is false. We're going to change it to make it true and say some parallelograms are rhombuses. In order for a parallelogram to be a rhombus, all four sides have to be equal. C says all squares are trapezoids. That is true. D says all rectangles are squares. All rectangles are squares is false. However, all squares are rectangles. Now, all squares can be rectangles because a square has all the same traits as a rectangle, but a rectangle does not have four equal sides, so all rectangles cannot be squares. E says rectangles are always parallelograms. That is true. And we're going to zoom out here and flip to the next page. And we are on problem F. F says all parallelograms are trapezoids. All parallelograms are trapezoids. And that is true. Whoops. It is true because trapezoids have one set of parallel lines, and so do parallelograms. G says all rhombuses are rectangles. All rhombuses are rectangles. That is false. We're going to change it to make it true, and it's going to say some rhombuses are rectangles. And that is because not all rhombuses have 90-degree angles, and all rectangles have to have 90-degree angles. We are on H. It says, kites are never rhombuses. Kites are never rhombuses. And that is false. We're going to change it to kites are sometimes rhombuses. And kites are rhombuses when all four sides are equal. I says all squares are kites. All squares are kites. That is true. All the qualities of a square meet the qualities of a kite. J says all kites are squares. That is false. We're going to change it to some kites are squares. That's because not all kites have four equal sides. Some do. K says all rhombuses are squares. All rhombuses are squares, and that is false. We're going to change it to all squares are rhombuses. And that's because squares have all the same qualities as a rhombus, but a rhombus doesn't always have to have 90-degree angles, and a square does. So that is the whole true or false portion. Now, if you look at the rest of this, it says classify figures based on their definitions into the most specific shape. So here you can see it lists all the shapes: quadrilaterals, trapezoids, parallelograms, rectangles, rhombuses, kites, squares, polygons. A polygon, I'm going to circle that. A polygon is just any shape. So we're going to flip to the next page. So this page, this is page 3, and this is page 4. They have a bunch of shapes drawn, and what you are supposed to do is look at those 2 pages of shapes and determine what they are. So I will help you with number 2. Number 2 is a triangle. So that is not any of our quadrilaterals listed. This is a polygon. And I got that from this list right here. So that is what you need to do. Go ahead and go through these 2 pages worth of shapes and see if you can classify them based on the traits that we've learned over the last couple days. Don't forget to do your exit ticket.